Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. 99% of traders will never make consistent profits. So why listen to the 99% of advice? On this show, we're going to challenge some of the most hallowed and repeated tenets of trading. And in doing so, set you up to succeed where others fail. Spoiler alert, we don't have a secret strategy or magic wand that will let you skip out on the hard work of learning the markets. But we can debunk viewpoints that are holding you back. If that sounds good to you, come join us.
Welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. Sometimes you have losing streaks. At the possibility of probably offending a few people, I'd like to take you back to the days of the Detroit Lions American football team, who through 2007 to 2009 went 0-16. In fact, though, in the preseason, they'd gone 7-1, and then starting the year of 2008, they went 0-16. And that was after they had gone 7-9 in 2007. So, they were not a great football team. They were a mediocre football team, yet they weren't 0-16 bad. And then something happened in 2008, and they went on to win 0 games. And what I want to discuss today with Levi is about how do we handle the losing streaks in trading. Like, again, this is trading. We're going to have times when we go 0-16. And how do we come back and build back from that without just throwing our hands up in the air and saying, I'm done? Levi.
Yeah, man. Losing streaks happen to the best of us. And so it's really important to have to kind of have a game plan for when it happens, not if it happens, when it happens. Because if you have a game plan, if you have a sort of a bit of positive propaganda kind of bouncing around in your head about how to conquer losing streaks, can make it affect you less and affect your trading. Because as we all know, trading is very greatly affected by even slight changes in our brain. And so yeah, it's really, really important to talk about. I think the first point I want to point out to anybody who's in a losing streak, in a losing season, or maybe who's in a winning winning season, but will have one coming up. My first main point is it's only losing if you're not learning. It's really easy to not journal your losses and just start putting a bunch of losses together and not letting those losses change how you trade. And one of the easiest way to do that is to not journal, to not keep track of what you're doing. And so each day it's new. Each day it's new. And so you just go in and you just make the same stupid mistakes, and you don't let those losses change you as a trader. Losses will happen. And so the only way that a loss is really bad is if you're not learning from that loss. It'd be like having a negative outlook on, like higher education, because, oh man, every day I go and I spent money to go to college. Well, it's only a waste. You only wasted that money on going to college if you're not learning anything that will make you money in the future, right? Like if you're spending $100,000 and you never go to class and you never learn anything, or you're learning the wrong things, you're learning, you go to for some degree, not to offend anybody, but you're going to college for a degree that will never make you a dime outside of college. If now you're wasting money, right? Now you're wasting time. So it's only losing if you're not learning something. The positive part about day trading is even if you lose, it's only a loss it's only a real loss if you never learned anything, if you're not getting better.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And just to go back to the slight football analogy, okay, so they went 0-16. But I guarantee you, after each of those games, were they just throwing up their arms and going, we lost, whatever, we suck? No, they were getting together. The coaches they were watching tape. They were discussing what they had done, what they could do better, how they could improve. And exactly, they were using those losses as an opportunity to improve their game and improve their strategy for the future. And we could go into debate how much they actually have improved. But anyway, you get my point.
Well. I mean, they did have one positive. They did get a positive out of that, which was isn't that the year they got Stafford? When
I
they at
think
the
so.
bottom of
Yeah.
the team, they got
Yeah.
Stafford. I think that's probably when they got him. But yeah, they were able to turn that into a positive. That does kind of tie. I mean, the thing. One of the main points that I have on here to talk about is that losses pile up really easy. And I think you made the point in the intro that these guys weren't an 0-16 team. Um, they weren't great, but losses pile up, and if you just keep piling ahead, your mindset changes, and all of a sudden you're not a winning football team anymore. You're a loser football team, and now you're not expecting yourself to win, and if you're not expecting yourself to win, you ain't gonna win, and so losses can pile up real quick. And so one of my main points to people who are facing a losing streak is to slow down, take a step back. This is one reason you have max stop losses on a day, right? They don't take more than X amount per day of loss. The reason you do that is because losses pile up. And so that's kind of the micro every day, have a max stop loss, max amount of loses you can take. But that should also work in the macro, which is if you're losing, if you've had a few weeks where you're just losing and losing and losing, take a step back, to do a deep dive into your journal, get some help, try to figure out what's going wrong, and just take a step back so you can kind of reset, make a reset rather than just trying to pile on ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and it reminds me, like, I think I might have mentioned this. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast or not, but for instance, I went back and journaled. So this was back a while ago. I went back and I had been doing a prop firm challenge, and I was above break even. Like I had traded for the month, and I didn't hit my target, but I was above break even. And I went back and did analysis of what I had done, and it turns out that out of my 25 trading days or something, I had only had 4 losing days, but each of my losing
Mm-hmm.
days had been max available drawdown for that day. So like each day I would win, 0.5%, 1%. But every day I lost, I only lost 4 days out of 25. So 24 days I was above break, I was positive on the day. But each of those 4 days, I had gone down 5%. And that had complete, those five, it only took those 4 days to absolutely destroy my trading. And that's exactly, that's a testament to what you said. Once you start losing, stop and slow down, because those losing, like, your mindset changes. You start trying to win back the other ones, and it almost always ends in disaster. And so
Yeah.
that's a great point, and that's why journaling is good. But I would say then, and I always hammer this home, is accountability, of course, is really important. Having someone else to be able to bounce things off of, which is that what we've always said, one of the reasons why we're still in trading today is because we've been able to support each other through our trading journey. Like, honestly, if I'd been doing this by myself, I'm pretty sure I would have, I wouldn't still be trading, because I would have given up a long time ago, and I would have just given up when I was through those losing streaks and those struggles. If I hadn't had you to talk to, I don't think I would be where I am today. So being able to find a way to be able to get that accountability and that emotional support, super important.
Hi everyone, Levi here to ask you, if you like what you're hearing and haven't already, consider subscribing or dropping a review. We put this information out completely free, and we'll never ask you to buy a course, pay for a Discord, or any of the other garbage you're likely to hear from everybody else. So, if you think we've earned it, we'd be in your debt.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Having somebody to help you get you through those low points is is huge. And somebody you trust, and somebody who's in it for the long haul as well. This is one reason I'm kind of down on Discords and stuff like that, because you get a bunch of they get filled with new traders, which is fine, but traders who a lot of traders who are kind of lost, and who are kind of getting into for the like kind of get rich quick schemes, and who don't have the right long term grind learning mindset. And so it can actually be a downer because that the same community that was supposed to pick you up um, isn't. They're also down. They're also losing, and so it can be actually kind of really negative.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true
so
because they're not only are they losing trades, there's only a few people. They're like for the most part, the people who are on Discord are loser traders or traders who are there trying to sell you stuff, right? Like there's
yeah,
nobody out there. Like okay, there are some, right? Like there, I'm not going to say there isn't any, but let's be
right.
honest. So these Discords are started by these trading gurus for the most part, and let's be honest, they're all out there to sell you something. So of course they're on
Yeah,
there trying to be, and but even most of them, they're not willing to tell you, listen, it doesn't matter what you do, dude. You got to put in the time for the next 2, 3, 4 years if you want to be successful. They're like, oh, you do this course, use this software, use this indicator, and join our Discord group.
yeah.
We'll make you successful. Bullcrap.
Use our
So it's like
indicator,
exactly.
get our
So
signals.
so not the users aren't helpful, and then the admins aren't helpful. They're all there for their own reasons, none of which are actually going to be able to really help you.
Yeah. Again, like you said, there's some good ones. We're not dissing all of that. It's just it can,
Yeah.
one of the help, one of the more the reason our relationship was really helpful was because we're both in it. We're both brothers. We care about each other. We're both in it for the long haul, and so it was really valuable. Um, the search for that type of accountability and help. I'm not exactly sure how you go about that, but if getting someone, even if they're not a trader, to be in it with you, cheering you on, is really, really important to help get you through those low points.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say my wife's not into trading, and she has been one of my biggest proponents, and she's actually she's good time. She's listened to me talk enough now. At this point, she's like, well, how was your trading day? It's like, well, I did this or this. She's like, well, did you journal it? She's like, did you? She's like, well, how was it? Did you go? Oh, did you over trade? I'm like, you've been. She listens to this podcast. I was like, you've been listening too much of the podcast. Like, quit listening to
Stop
the
it.
podcast. She's like, did you follow your rules today? Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
having someone that's willing to touch, enter in with you and show interest in it is going to be super important because, like, yeah, as I said, a lot of traders they said, oh yeah, my family didn't support me, no one else supported me. Like, if you don't have the support of someone around you, it's probably going to be a very long, lonely haul. And honestly, the data says you're not going to survive.
Yeah, and it's possible, but it's hard. And so finding someone who can support you is really, really important. Another one of the last points I wanted to make was if you are losing, find something to focus on, to work on. Like if you're losing, well, focus on losing less. Maybe that, right? Focus on parts of your game that need work. Um, are you still fearful when you take trades? Your heart rate going up? Work on that. Try to work on your mindset, whatever that is. Um, are you, are you always following your rules? In other words, you have a list of rules, a kind of a checklist to go in. Are you always following that? Probably not. If you aren't, work on that. Give yourself a gold star when you perfectly follow your rules and take a gold star off. Do the grade school thing and put a gold star sticker on a piece of paper and peel them off when you break your rules and put them on when you do have a day when you don't. Like, find things to work on. Trust me, you have things to work on. Everyone does. So whether or not you're losing, the wins will come when all of your ducks are in a row. When you're not as fearful anymore. I'm not saying you'll always get rid of your fear, but you have less fear. When you're disciplined, when you've properly managed your risk, all of that. When you get all of those in a row, you'll start winning. So in the meantime, if you're losing, forget winning for a second and just focus on getting rid of your bad habits. Focus on the things you can fix. And when you do that, the wins will come.
Yeah, I think that's genius because you can just, celebrate wins that you can, because you can any day you
Yeah.
follow your rules, for instance, that can be a win, right? Like that's a big win. Any day, you follow a certain practice or you did something, celebrate the win. So even if you don't win a trade, you can still win on the day by, as you said, you're learning, you followed all of your rules, win, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. So celebrate the wins. There's always wins that you can celebrate. So find something that you can celebrate, even if your trades aren't winning. Find something that you can celebrate to, keep your morale up, keep you positive. And then the other thing I just tack on there is take a stinking break, right? Like traders, I feel like
Hmm.
day traders especially feel like they have to trade all the time. Every single day the market is open. Anytime the market is open, you have to be looking at charts. Take a week off. Like honestly, if you've been trading and you're feeling burnt out, like just take a week off. Shut your computer, delete MetaTrader off your phone, don't look at any charts, and just take a week off. And you'd be amazed at how much clarity you will have coming back from a week of just not looking at charts and not feeling like you have to constantly be trading.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Finding wins where you can is really important. We posted this on our Twitter as well, which is not every loss, not every losing trade is bad, and not every winning trade is good. You can break your rules and win, and that's really, really bad because it will
It is.
affect
I
you over the
actually
long
remember I
haul.
texted I texted you a few weeks ago saying, "Hey, I got this great trade. I got this great trade, but I'm really
Yeah.
worried that I got this great trade because it went against my rules, but I
Yep.
took it anyway because I liked it, and it just rocketed my way, and I
Yeah.
did great on it, and I was like, Levi, I'm really worried. I did great on a trade that I shouldn't have."
Yeah, it's really, really bad. That's the worst thing you can do. And so but on the flip side of that, of course, is not every loss is bad, because if you're following your rules and you're disciplined, then again the our winning edge is very small, and so you'll have losses even when you follow all your rules, and you'll have losing streaks. That's okay. Like you said, I think that's a really, really important mindset to have, of focus on, make the win be your disciplines, your actions, your rules. Make that your wins. Make that what makes you feel good. Because if you can shift your mindset to that, then the wins will come. And whether or not you have a up day or down day, it doesn't matter. Over time, we're not gamblers here. We're statisticians. We only care about overtime, and over time you will make money. You will eventually start to win. Focus on the wins you can control, and what you can control is your discipline, your loss mitigation, your risk management, following the rules. That's the stuff you can follow, and then the wins will come.